The C-46, one of my favorite airplanes actually, began its lifespan prior to World War II as a freight airplane. It actually started off with the Flying Tigers, and they had those as their basis for the cargo operation they wanted. And it didn't last long with Flying Tigers because they had the old Curtiss electric props on it, four-bladed electric propellers, and they had a bad tendency to run away. So after several crashes, Flying Tigers gave up, and the FAA or CIA at that time stepped in and required the aircraft be fitted with Curtiss electric three-bladed propellers. This is a good move, except it didn't have the acceleration of the old four-bladed electrics. I got introduced into this thing back in the 50s, and I enjoyed this airplane. This was a fun bird to fly. It grossed out at 48,000 pounds. Empty weight was around 31,000 pounds, which is more than a DC-3 is fully loaded. And we could carry up to 16,000 pounds of cargo in the cabin. It was a huge cabin, cavernous actually, and the airplane itself, the way it sat on a ramp, the bottom of the cockpit seats in the cockpit were 21 feet off the ground. So you were at altitude even before you started the engines. And the engines were R2800s, 2,800 cubic inches of displacement in that thing, producing around 1,600 horsepower each. And it had a snarl to it. It was a noisy airplane, and in the cockpit you were subject to quite a lot of noise. And in the cockpit also there was a little bit of difference between that and other aircraft. Most aircraft you sat facing exactly in the direction you were going. The C-46's nose curved in radically, and the seats were somewhat canted, so you weren't looking straight ahead to what you were flying into. You had to look about 5 degrees off to the left to see where the airplane was actually going. And it was heavy on the controls. There are several versions of the C-46, but most of the ones we had were the old ones where you just had to manhandle that airplane. It had hydraulic system for the flaps and landing gear. It did not have hydraulic boost for the controls. It was strictly cables out to the controls. And you developed some muscles trying to fly this thing in weather when you had to really jockey it through, and also in crosswind landings. But I loved the old bird. She talked to you. You could actually hear the moan of the airplane as you got slow, and it would let you know that, hey, you better watch out here now, buddy, because things are happening that maybe you can't control. And there was a lot of things that I enjoyed about this airplane because it talked to me. And not too many airplanes do talk to you, particularly the modern ones where you don't really have actual feel of the air on the controls. And there you flew by feel. We had no autopilot, so you flew the damn thing all the time. This was fun for me. For many, they'd whine and complain that, oh, I'm tired of this. And we also flew them well beyond their normal means. Particularly on long trips, we'd have it overloaded with cargo and fuel to the point where you had to stretch the envelope to get to your destination. But this is flying in its real environment. You got control of this thing, and it was a joy to make a successful day in that airplane. You knew you had it done, and you did it well. Thank you.